Have you ever given much thought to what public health actually is? Well, according to the Center for Disease Control Foundation, public health is the science of protecting the health of people all around the world. Public health and epidemiology, those two go hand in hand with each other, are mainly concerned with understanding how diseases work, figuring out where those diseases come from, and then coming up with a plan to get rid of those diseases. These fields of study can mostly be attributed to the work of one person. This person is widely considered to be the father of epidemiology and public health, and his name is John Snow. Not the Game of Thrones character, John Snow was actually a 19th century physician who was known for his work on cholera and anesthesia. As someone who has a degree in public health, I have a great admiration for John Snow's contributions because he essentially created the field of public health. And that is why today I will be talking about why he's such an important historical figure. And I will also be talking about how his contributions are still relevant today, over 200 years later. Before I start talking about John Snow's contributions, I would first like to talk about his early life. According to a biography done by Michael Ramsey of Baylor University Medical Center, John Snow was born in 1813 in England in the city of York. John Snow started college at the age of 16, and then he went on to get inducted into the Royal College of Surgeons by the age of 25. Weirdly enough, at the age of 25, he was already practicing surgery, but he wasn't considered a real doctor yet because he didn't have his license, and he didn't get his license until the age of 31, which is also the time he started doing his medical research. Which brings me to my next topic about John Snow's actual contributions to the field. One of his first major contributions had to do with anesthesia, which at the time was a relatively new concept. More doctors were starting to use it, but they didn't really understand how to use it, and a lot of people were either passing out or even dying from it, which is a problem that John Snow sought to solve. According to John Snow's Practice of Obstetric Anesthesia by Donald Catton, John Snow mainly focused his research on women who were about to give birth. He waited until their second stage of labor and then he would give them really small amounts of chloroform, enough to numb the pain, but not enough to make them pass out, which was the main problem at the time. He was able to perfect the dosages of the chloroform, and his findings were so widespread that even Queen Victoria herself insisted that he anesthetize her for her childbirth. John Snow also put forth the notion that anesthesia should really be specialized, so there should be one specific person giving the anesthesia. It could be a doctor, and then there should be another doctor actually doing the treatment or the diagnoses. Besides anesthesia, John Snow was also known for his cholera research. According to the CDC, cholera is a bacterial infection that causes severe dehydration, which could lead to death if left untreated. The 1800s were particularly bad for cholera because it pretty much ravaged through England. A lot of people were dying from it, and a lot of people thought that the disease was spread through the air, which was not the case. And John Snow didn't believe that, so he decided to conduct his own research. According to Mapping Disease, John Snow and Cholera by Fahima Begum of the Royal College of Surgeons, John Snow focused his research on a particular area of London, Soho. This area had a high concentration of the disease, so he went there and then he talked to every single resident in that city. He went door to door and he mapped out who had the disease. He was also asking people questions like where they were getting their food and their water and their lifestyle, and he was able to figure out a correlation between the disease and this thing called the Broad Street water pump. He found out that people who were getting their water from that water pump were getting the disease. So he suggested to the city council to get rid of the pump, and sure enough, the disease pretty much disappeared in that area after the pump was taken away. They found out later that the pump had actually been exposed to some cholera bacterium that was found in dirty sewage. And in John Snow's work on the mode of communication of cholera, John Snow definitively concluded that all that was required to prevent this disease from spreading is putting an emphasis on the cleanliness of water and sewage, as much as people do with the cleanliness of their cooking or their food. So, why is this important? How does this relate to today? Well, first of all, John Snow's contributions to the field of anesthesia provide us the basis for our understanding of anesthesia. Today, We know that people of different weights, people of different lifestyles, each person is different in the amount of anesthesia we need to give them before a procedure. And we have that understanding because John Snow took the time to work out dosages. And he also suggested making anesthesia a specialized field, which is why we have anesthesiologists today. And those doctors, they make a lot of money, and that is a very scary field to be in, but I commend anyone who goes into that field. And then John Snow mapping out cholera provides the foundation for how public health deals with diseases nowadays. He figured out the disease was spread through dirty water and not the air, and then he found out that in that specific area the disease was coming from the pump. So he figured out that its origin, and then he figured out a plan to get rid of the disease, which was to get rid of the pump. And so that's how public health deals with diseases nowadays. So, John Snow is widely regarded as the father of epidemiology and public health. His insistence on questioning the status quo and carrying out his own research really paved the way for the rise of public health, and that is why he is such an important person in history. Former CDC Director Bill Foge once said, "There is no human endeavor outside the realm of public health. So next time you take medication for a cold, or get a flu shot, which you should because it is flu season, or put a seatbelt on, just know you have Jon Snow to thank for that because those are all some major public health interventions." Thank you.